Hello all, welcome to React Advanced Interview Question. In this part, we are going to cover the advanced topics in React, which are asked in an interview, which is like React Router and Redux, and also useReducer hook, which is the sort of replacement of Redux, and it is used a lot nowadays. So these three topics we are going to cover. We have covered everything till now. We have covered HTML, CSS, JavaScript interview questions. Then we have covered React class-based interview question, React hook-based interview question. So there will be a playlist there in this description. You can find that playlist and you can check out all the previous videos which were related to interview questions. So let us get started with your React router first. Then we'll move to Redux and then we'll move to use reducer hook. Let me share my screen. So here, actually, I already have a project. So why is React router required? So I already have a project. If you can see, this project is already there, in which I have a header component. I have a add contact component. Okay, and I have a contact list component. So right now what is happening, everything is there in the same thing, and it's a completely working project which is also using something known as local storage, so that the data is on sort of semi-permanent. So suppose I add something more like add gmail.com. So I will add it and it will be added. And as I told, it is a completely working for the project. The benefit of local storage is that it is like a sort of permanent. If even if refreshing it, it is not going away, because this has been where is the application? The application, it is stored in local storage. If you want to know how I have created this project, there I have done it a lot of times on the channel. I might provide the link also, how I have done these things, this whole project. Okay, and this delete functionality is also working with. Okay, so there are two major component in this project. One is this add contact component, which is showing this thing, and one is this contact list component. So this add contact component is a simple form, and this contact list component is taking the list which is stored, and then it is passing it to a contact card component. So these are the major components here, but the main thing is that everything is been shown in one thing. So if interval is the first question will be asked is, what is React router and why it is used? So it is used in situation like this. You can tell a theoretical answer like that. React router is used to implement routing in a React project, which by default doesn't come. Routing means like uh, in any website or a web page, we have a contact form or something like this. So in that you go like slash contact. So this is routing. So you can explain in theory like this to the interview, like a slash contact is there, slash add is there, all those things are there. You need to go to that like that. Okay, so that is there, and that is something which is not inbuilt in React, because React is a very small JavaScript library. So one of the major feature, which is the routing in a single page application, React is not a single page application. It is not there in React. The problem is that. Okay, and we have to install something like a third party tool to use it. Okay, so we are going to use like and if the interval asks you to quickly implement React router, you can implement like this, what I'm telling right now, and try to implement the React router version 5, because right now version 6 is going on. Version 6 is quite new, and it's better to go with version 5. So if you want to, like, my React is working, like this project is running. Now what I'm going to do, I'm going to install the React router version 5. So let me open the integrated terminal, Control J, and then I'll do a npmi. So as I told, it's a third party tool. React router DOM @5. @5 I'm installing, and it is getting installed. So now this can be a take home question, or the interviewer might give you something like this and ask you to implement React router. You can do like this. Okay, because this is React router is a very important question. But most probably, if they can ask like they can give an example, or they can ask you to show it through an example. It is quite common, like interviewer ask you to share your screen, and then give it. Okay, so here what happens, so I have implemented this, and my main motto is to move these two components, like this add contact component and this contact list component, to its own, like, own pages. Okay, own pages, but in React we can do it to this React router DOM. Okay, so now how to do that? So first we have to import something here, which is like import BROW, browser router. Browser, I don't know why it is so big. It is showing browser router as router, comma switch, comma route. So like this three things, I'm going to import from React router now. Then what we need to do? We need to like one more thing I want to tell here. Like in some components, if some props is in past, it's a advanced way to do that thing. Okay, that also we are going to see. But right now, what I'm going to do, like I will think as if there is no props is been passed to this components, and we're going to do it like that, because you should understand the easy way first, then we're going to see how if our props has been passed, then what will happen. Okay, so I will comment this out, then I will like do what. So React router is mostly implemented in the like most component which is at the higher level, as a component which is at the higher level. So I'll go here and do a router, and then router, it is actually browser router, but industry standard is to call it router. So router I'll do, and then this header I will take. Okay, so header I will take. But some of the components are that like that you don't need the routing in that. So header I don't need the routing, but the components add contact and contact header is like it will be there in all the components. Add contact and contact list are the one in which you need routing, but you have to wrap everything with the router. Then we'll go here and do a SWI PCS switch, and then down inside the switch we'll have the route and path equal to this slash. This is the home route. In the home route, there is one more thing which is known as EXACP, which we have to do. Why we do it, I will tell it. Component equal to, and now I have to put this contact list. The component name contact list is already imported, and then there will be another route which in which I don't need the exact, and this you can give any name. So I will give the name add, and I will put the add contact our second component. So the component you have to put it directly here. And why exact here? Because home route generally contain the slash, and the other routes also contain the slash. So to differentiate between them, you always put the exact in the home route. Okay, this can be another question, why we put the exact in the home route. Okay, so that is there. So slash add have done. Now I'll save it, but there is one more thing, like home I'm showing the contact list, but as you can say, nothing is coming. The reason is that nothing is coming because we are right now we're passing some props, but as I've told that first I want to show the easy way, like without a props. Maybe some component is there in which we don't pass the props, then what? So for this, what I'm going to do here, I will think as if the data is coming locally. Props I will deduct, props I will delete not delete. Okay, I have a local thing, const contacts equal to an array of object I will have. So ID is 1, comma, name is Nabendu, comma, email is Nabendu at gmail.com, and so I have this two things. I have deleted this props also. So see this home route, I am getting the contact list, this home route. And suppose if I want to go to the add route, it is slash add. Our routing is done. This is how the routing is done in React. Okay, some more things which we need to do, we'll do it. Okay, so like this in the home route, now you can see some problems are there. Okay, because the we were using actually in this semantic UI, so some problems are there because it is going up right now. So we will simply, what we are going to do, we are going to have a semantic UI class here, div dot main, and inside this I'll move all these things. and then h2 contact list value and save. Okay, so it is showing like this. Okay, so our React routing is done, but not everything is done. See, you can see like it is okay working like, and but if I want to go, you have to go like this. But nobody goes like this to a contact or anything. So suppose you go to a website, there is a contact list is of how you're going to go. You're going to click on something, then you're going to go. So that is also something which can be implemented through React router. And how we are going to implement it through React router? Okay, so next question is, what is this link? What is this link in React router? What is this link in React router? Okay, so the answer is, the link is to implement the clicking behavior, like clicking where you can, so you can explain the interview, like clicking behavior, like you click and you go to some route. Link is used for that, and we are going to use that link here. So what is this link is the question. So I'll go here and do a link. No, why it's coming like this. Okay, so link from, again it is from React router down, and I will do like this. Now I can have a button, and this button again, as I've told, I am using semantic UI. So button dot UI dot v I o l e t dot v o p t o n button. Okay, and then add contact, which is like to and slash add. Okay, so like this, slash add is there. Okay, so like this to, and in this to the slash add I have added. So exact route which is there, you have to add that thing. Now what will happen? Let me go back here. The home route. Home route, I have a big button. You can have this in a menu bar also. So home route, I have a big button. I click here and I'm going here. It is working fine. But here, like now we have one more problem. And okay, before that problem, what I'm going to do, like this like hard coded data I'm using. This is the hard coded data we are using. Let us fix it out. Okay. And as I told, I have shown this way because I want to show if the component doesn't contain any props, then what happens? But our component contains some props, then what we need to do here? If it contains some props, so if it contains some props, suppose this contact list I will have to do, so I will cut it, and this contact list go, and like this, and contact list. So you have to pass it as a like of arrow function. Okay, and then this add contact, I do this add contact like this I have to do. So now we are passing the thing also. Okay. Now one more thing here. In this, we'll go back to this contact list and we'll remove the hard coded data here. And here it was a props. So when we have some props, we do it like this in the component. We do it through an arrow function. But when we don't have any props passed to the component, we do it in the earlier way. Okay, that's why I told that way. Okay, so I will save it and not have to save this thing. See, now these are the things which are there in my your local storage. They are coming. Okay, so that is there. But now if you go to this add contact, and I will add something like hurry hurry at gmail.com. Okay, hurry at gmail.com. I'll add it. Now see, it is added actually, but I have to manually go like this in the component. Generally, it should have been a very good like feature if you directly go there, and that is something which we implement in almost all web apps. Okay, so another question is like, how do we programmatically go to a route? How to programmatically go to a route? And it is different than clicking on something and going to a route. That we go do through the link tag. But to programmatically go to a route, we use a history and the answer. If it's a theoretical answer, it is that this dot props dot history, or history props we do to programmatically go to a route. Let me show how we do that. Okay. So I'll go here, and then in this add contact is there. In this add contact, I will come here and do so okay. So in this add, what is happening? Everything is getting added and the set state has been cleared. And then after that, I will do a this dot props dot history. history dot and it is history dot push, and I'm doing it. Okay, history dot push, and I'm pushing it. History dot push. So this is just the way, like history dot push, and I'm giving that it should go to the home route. Now it is okay. These props I have done, but now what happening here? New props is been coming here. So there is another way to use that props. Like first, I will get a new props, and in this add contact, this is a method to use the spread operator. Spread operator to spread the props. Dot 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 props props. Dot props I'll do. Okay, and then I will save it. Okay, so it can be history props, it can be some other props, anything you can pass like this. Okay, so because I have to write the exactly the history props. Okay, so this is a very common way. This is a spread operator way. Now I will go and see that whether it is working. At gmail.com. I'll do the add here. Let's see, it's going here. So, and it means it's programmatically gone to that route. So this is how it you can programmatically send something. Okay, so that is there. Now we are going to learn about a very important route known as a while route. So interviewer can ask you what is a while route and what is it used. So while routes are generally used like to go to specific route which have got some number. It will be shown here what is a wild route. So wild route is something like you go to Amazon site. In Amazon site there are a lot of items are there. You click on one item, there will be some ID related to that item. So how do we show that ID? Suppose I click here and it is got 1 2 3 whatever is there. So it will be like slash, maybe the route is slash contact slash 1 slash contact slash 2 slash contact slash 3. So this 1 2 3 are like changing like according to the where it is there. So this is 1 2 3 4 5. So click here, so slash contact 5. So that 5 is there, that is known as a while route, and there is a way to implement that in React Router, and we're going to learn that way to implement that in React Router. So that is something like a while route. So while route, so now in this project what I want, if I click here, I should be taken to a different page. For all of these things I should be taken to a different page, and in that should be shown more information about this thing. And that is how it works in Amazon and all those things, all the sites like Flipkart, Amazon and all those things which are using React. It works like that only. So we'll go to this contact card now, and then here, so because the contact card is actually showing all these things, so we'll go here, and here I will go and do a link tag again. I don't know why this whole thing is showing. So link tag again, and then I will do this, and link I have done. Then here, see, now we have done this where we have done this. Okay, in the contact list also we have a link tag, and we have two, and we're just going to something static. But here what I'm going to do, this link to, and this is how we implement the your path name is hash contact slash ID. Hash contact slash the path name is this template string I'm using, and this ID I'm using, this ID which is coming from here I'm using. So path name, this is something which you do in the wildcard route. So wildcard is this thing, this is known as the wildcard. Okay, we have not completely implemented it, but since the moment I do it link, it is showing like an anchor tag, and the moment I click here, so it is clickable. So it is going to the 0, because 0 is the ID here, 1 is the ID, 4 is the ID. So it is going like that. Just now what we need to do, we need to show it like one sec. So we have to just show it. Okay, so we have to, what we are going to do here, we are going to show it through a different component. Okay, so whenever I go here, I'll show a component known as contact detail component. Let me take the code for that because I do not type it. Okay, so contact detail. Okay, so I'm going to create a new component here called contact detail dot js, contact detail dot js, and it will be again RAFCE. Then here, okay, contact detail. Then here I'll have a, okay, as I've told, let me have some things here. The main thing, just HTML templates which I don't want to write. So okay, so I have this thing and image, and it's okay. If I 25 of JPG is okay. So and right now I'll hard code this thing. I'll put up Nabendu email.com. So this contact detail is there. Right now, as I told, it is hard coded. Everything is hard coded. Okay, this link tag is something which I have to import. So I'll import it. Right, not like this. Remove this thing. So link tag is something which I am importing it, and rest of these things are okay. Like is a simple component with this. I'm showing an image here because I don't have an image, so I'm showing something more. And then hard coded thing which I'm going to, as I've told, I'm going to change it. And link tag taking me back to the home page. Okay, I'll save it, and but now it will not show anyways. Okay, so how it will show? Now we'll go back to our, okay, go back to our app.js. Now, what will happen? This file route which we have created in this contact card, this is something which we need to create here. Okay, a new route we need to create here. So we'll go here, and after this, I will have a route and path equal to dash contact and ID, and then so see, and then the component equal to contact detail, which is the new component, contact detail. So like this is a path is slash contact and ID. Okay, slash contact and ID. So this ID is the while route. This is the complete code. ID is the whole while route, and this is something which should match with this. This is like a keyword, not a keyword. Like this ID should be same. Okay, so this colon ID means it can keep on changing, which is changing. Sometimes it is 0, sometimes it is 1, sometimes it is 2. Like that, it is changing. So I will save it. See, I will get this thing. So I don't have an image, so I have actually hard coded that thing. So that is there. Back to contact list. So now everything will show like this. Okay, so but at least it is working. At least it is working. At least it is working. So now we have to change something in the contact detail because I want to show the real thing, like the real data. So it is in a Nabendu and this, I want to show this data. I want to show this data. I want to show this data. So how do we show this data? Okay, let us go there. Now here I will have a const, a new state hook known as user, comma set user equal to use state, and it will be an object. It will be an object, and then okay. Now again, one thing from React router DOM, which is like const ID equal to use parents. It's again a hook, use parents, and I can actually take it from here. So this use parents hook is a hook which gives us this ID. But from where it gives us this ID? It gives us the ID. See, when I'm clicking here, this ID is coming here. But how can I get this ID? So this use param hooks, take it from the browser address bar. Browser address bar. This ID I am getting from it. So now a bit of code which we are going to use is like this code we are going to use, because we're going to use some local storage thing which is there, because our local storage actually contains, where is my application? Okay, so this contact local storage contains the all of the data, so we are going to just use it from there. So that is there. And okay, so I'm actually going to use this one, but there is something. So that is okay. But here I'm first getting the data, and I'm also going to change it to ID, because the moment the ID change, it should run again. Means moment I click a new thing, or else it will not come completely. So this I've taken. But if retrieve contacts, I'm not going to do the set contacts, but because there is no nothing like the set contacts. If the contacts is coming, if and this retrieve contact will contain this big array of object. So now I have to find out this. So this zero is very powerful. From zero or one, whatever is there, I'm going to find out that thing, and that is very easy. I'm going to find out that thing. And so I'm going to use contact equal to retrieve contacts dot find. So find I'm using, and this find contact is so I'm looking to each one of the contact and doing contact dot id equal to contact ID 01234. Anything is there, and one thing is that this is a number, but what we get from this ID is actually a string. Like I will tell how it is there. So I have to change it to a number, or else it will not match number of ID. Okay, because this will be something like it comes like this. Okay, zero, like this zero. See, string is there. So this string I have to convert it to ID. Okay, number. So this number I have to do it. Now I'll have this some contact will set up, because whatever is this, so zero is there, so this will be saved. If it is one, this will be saved. It is two, it will be there. It is depending upon where I go. Now I have to do the set user as contact. So set user as contact. If I do, I will remove the hard coded data. Now it is like user dot name, because dot name is there, and user dot name is there, and save. Use effect is not defined as usual. Use effect is not defined. So now it is coming like this. Nabendu Biswas. This is the first one. Let us go to the this one, Hari. So Hari is the third one. Hari at gmail.com. Coming fine. So like this. And it is going fine. So this is all about React router DOM. Now we will learn about Redux. Yeah, so for Redux I have created a different project, so just a new project with the npx create react app, and then I will cd to this thing, cd react Redux demo. And also we need to install some packages for Redux. And what is Redux and all, and that will be an interview question, and I'm also going to tell you this is React interview is not completed without Redux, npm I and Redux and React Redux, npm I React Redux and React Redux. So two packages we have installed, Redux and React Redux. Okay, so these two packages we have installed, and then I'll do a npm start. Okay, before npm start, let me open it with code, and then do a npm start. Start I'll do. And, yeah, so it is done. and if it's a brand new React app, so it will show all this. Let me quickly do some setup. Not much, just with this index I will relate this thing, because we need to work on this. Actually, this strict mode, it's gives the lock 2 times, so that's why I'm removing it. And then in the app.js I'll go, and header I will remove, and from here we're going to start. Okay, save it. Okay, so even before we are starting, so one thing, so what is a Redux? What is Redux exactly used for? Okay, so let me show like what is Redux and how it is used. Okay, so the interval will ask you a theoretical question: what is Redux? So Redux is a state management library. What happens in React, we don't have a state management. Like whatever the state we see in React, whether it's a class based or a functional, they are all local state, but we don't have something known as a global state. And global state is React in all it is needed in almost every production project. Okay, the global state, so there can be some global state which you can change, and that is needed in almost every production project. So to implement global state, we use the Redux. So now the next question the interview will ask, explain me the Redux lifecycle, because Redux also have a life cycle. So let me first tell the theory, then I'm going to implement it and tell it through a program. Okay, so again, so there is a React app, and it's dispatched something known as an action creator. And when the action creator is done, it is connected to something known as a reducer, and then the reducer is there, and the reducer changes the state, manipulate the state, and it the state is actually stored in something known as a Redux store. And again, the React app is subscribed to it and will get the updated state. So that is about Redux. Okay, that is about Redux. So these four things are very important: action creator, reducer, store, and then of course the app is there. So these are the four things which are there. So let us do this action creator first, and we will start with the action creator. And for that, first thing which we need is this React app, something like this in the React app we're going to need. So for that, we're going to go here and create in the SRC, create a new components, and here we will create a new component called add container dot js, like container dot js, and which is nothing but the React component or a React app, whatever you say. Okay, and then right now it will be RAFE, and then here in this I will do a h2 number of text, and uh, button now by like this. I'll save it, and yeah, so this content, this is the in the app.js. I will do this add container. So that is done. So as if you go here, this number of x and by is been shown here. So as I have told, so the first thing is the action creator. So we have to create this action creator, and we're going to create this action creator. Action creator is a simple function in Redux which performs some action. Okay, so let us create that. And there are different ways in which we can do the Redux. So different ways in which we can shoot Redux, means in the skeleton I'm telling about. So what this skeleton we will follow is this components is okay. This SRC I'll go, and here I'll do a Redux, and in this I will create another folder known as active. So we're creating thing like that. X seller is there, he's selling egg. So that whole thing we are implementing. So in this egg, I will go, and here I will create a new file called egg actions.js, and other thing is egg types.js, And okay, let us create these two things first. So add types. Actually, what happens in Redux, we have a type. We have a type. We export that type. Okay, so we want to export this type. So export const by x equal to by, like this we'll have. And then we have this action creator. Okay, this action creator, we are going to have in this action creator, as I told, it's a pure action, like it's a function. So first thing is that we'll have a export. And if you want to learn Redux in detail, we already have that on our channel. You can do that. Okay, const by egg equal to, as is a function. So I'll do this thing. Return type is by type is by egg. So this by egg is getting it from the types, and this is a string. So generally we do it like this. But this is an action creator. This action creator is there, and then it is done. Now we have a reducer. Reducer is the thing which actually changes the state. Okay, reducer is the thing which changes the state. So let us create the reducer. So here we'll create a new file called useReducer dot reducer dot js. Here again, like this action creator, we will have this by, and then we'll have the initial state also here, like this const initial state equal to, like this, and then num of ETS is 100. Okay. Then what we are going to do here is that const like a reducer. So this is how reducer is been done. And in reducer, it is generally a switch statement which will change the state. Okay. And this is a global state. This is not a React local state. Okay. So it takes this state, and state is a keyword here. State is equal to initial state, comma, action. Then go here and do a switch action dot type. What is this action dot type? I'm soon going to sell action dot type is this type. Okay, action dot type, and maybe I'll also increase the font size. Action dot type, and then I will have a case of by type, and it is like the URL return. And so we can have multiple states here. So soon I'm going to have multiple state here. So what I'm going to do, dot stat state, and then num of x is state or nums of x minus 1, because the moment I buy the x, which will be done by this by egg, it should be reduced by 1. And I should also have a default state, default default is return state, like this, and then export default like reducer, it is done. Okay, so like this it is there. Now okay, so now the next thing, which is store. So this store we have to create, and store will be like and when everything will like work and the flow, then we'll understand much better what is there and how the dispatch and action creators and all those things work. We're going to see that thing. Okay, so now in this Redux, we are going to have the store, because store will be common, because soon we're going to have other states also. So I'll have a store dot js. So here the first thing is that I'll have a const store equal to create. So it is store, and then in this I'll pass the add user. So egg reducer I'm passing. Okay. So then port default. So for default store. So this create store, in this create store, I'm passing the reducer. Simply like this is how they are connected. This is how they are connected. Now save it. Now that is okay. So we have created the action creator, we created the reducer, we created the store. But there are two things here, like how to create this dispatch and how to create this subscribe. So for that thing only in Redux, what happened, like in a React Redux project, we have something known as a provider. It is a concept which is a bit similar to a context API, but this provider is there, and in that, what happens? This provider we have to implement it in the central component, and this in the other component we have different way to use it. So central component means in the top component, like this app.js we have to implement it. So I'll go here, and again, if you want to do a detail of Redux, we have them on the channel, like Redux videos, we have them on the channel, in which we go a bit slow also. And before this, we store teach in a different way, because this is an interview question, so I'm explaining it from that perspective. Okay, so we have the same example, but it's a longer duration thing. Okay, so that is it. And so okay, so this provider, VROVIVR, this provider will have from React Redux. And this with this provider, you have to wrap this like container, you have to wrap it. Okay, so like this, I will cut it, and this provider, then I'll do a SPORE store equal to SPORE store. So this store we have to connect. This store you have to connect. Okay, with this provider, save it. Now okay, so now it's time to like use it in the component. At the end of the day, it have to be used in this component. So in this component, somehow I should be able to get the global state, like the numbers of x, and I can also buy it. Means I can change it. See, the state is not here; it's a global, so you can do it. So in React, it is not possible to do this thing. Okay, it deals with the local state only, but this is a global state which we are talking about. So nums of x is there, and here what I'm going to do here. Okay, so this there are two methods. Okay, so there are two methods to do this thing. Again, a very important interview question is like what are two methods to like subscribe to the global state and dispatch the action creator. So one is this map state to props and map dispatch to props method, and another is that use selector and use dispatch hooks. That method we're going to see next. Okay, so that is there. Now here we are going to do like for this thing, we use a higher order component known as higher order component is again a complicated thing in React, which used to be done a lot earlier. But now every component is moving toward the custom hooks, and we have a custom hooks here also. So in that, what happened? This I'll do like this, and then and I will have a connect. Connect is again from React Redux, and in this connect, so when we have this higher order component, what happens? I put additional functionalities inside this connect and all. Okay, so inside this component, not inside this connect, inside this component, map state to props, comma map this patch to props, map state to props, and map dispatch to props. I'll have. So these are two like keyword kind of thing. And map, what map state to props does, it like get the global state sort of subscribed, and map dispatch to props, it dispatches and changes the state. Okay, so let us do both of those things. Okay. So like I'll do a const map state to props equal to state, then this, and I'll have a done, and then num of Okay, so this can be some other name also, but the main thing is that with this map state to props, you can access this global state. And how do we access it? It is through state is dot nums of x. Like this, I can access it. Okay. So another thing is that map dispatch to props. Let us create that also. So const map dispatch to props equal to dispatch. Dispatch will be there, and then here I'll have a return, and then here by ag by ag. So again, this can be anything, but it will call a function called dispatch and uy ag. Again, this by egg is this function. So now this is done, but here there is something which is even more complicated. So what happened in this map state to props and map dispatch to props, this are a local kind of a props. This is not a react prop, but a local kind of a props, and we use it by the props keyword only. So we're getting it by the props keyword only. So here the nums of x is like equal to props dot nums x, and the on click equal to props dot buy, like props dot buy. Okay, so what are these two things? Okay, props dot buy. So here, when this component will load, which will come load first time, so it will go here and map state to props dot numbers of x is there. So this map state to props will run, and it will get the number of x from the store which is subscribed to it, and through which it will get the nums of x, the current state, which is 100. Let us see whether it is showing. It is showing 100. Now the main thing, when I will click here, so this props dot nums of x will fire actually this dispatch, and then it will go, this dispatch will go to this action creator. Okay, and this action creator is connected to the reducer, you can see, and this is kind of a magical connection. So what it happened, the moment it go to this action creator, this is something which people don't understand in Redux. The moment you go to the action creator, it will go to this reducer. It will go to this reducer, and this reducer, it will fire this switch statement and all. So state is initial state is 100 action. Now this action is like this thing is the action. So action dot type is what? Action dot type is by x. So this first one will be done, and then I will take the global state and minus it by 1. So my global state will become 99, and this store, it will go to the store is actually connected to this react app. So means the global state is changed and it is shown here. So if I click here, it will become 99. This is something which is not possible in react, and this is what Redux is all about. Redux is all about this only. Okay, so that is there. Now the next thing which I'm going to tell is like okay, so before moving here, okay, and this is the second question also. Like you can see, like most of the actually the logic is like same, like easy here. Most of the logic is easy here, only this last part is a bit difficult, and that the Redux people have also known. So they have created something known as a use selector loop. Okay, so the interviewer might ask, what is the use selector and use dispatch hook in Redux? Use selector and use dispatch hook, actually they are a new way to use this thing, map state to props and map dispatch to props. This were a bit difficult way. Okay, so the answer is that the old way of using map state to props and map dispatch to props was a bit complicated code. So use selector and use dispatch are custom hooks made by React Redux to make our job easy to get the global state and change the global state, get the global state and change the global state. Okay, so for that, what I am going to do here, like I'm going to create a new component called hook container dot js. I'll do, and then rfce I'll do. Then here, now you'll see how easy this is in comparison to this. Okay, now again we have h2 and num of hook X is button is by open. Right. Okay. And again, this component, I'm going to show it here. Okay. A container like this, I've saved it, and it will be show. Okay, container. Okay, so this will show. Okay, so now again, how to do these two things? Okay, how to do these two things? Let us do these two things. So here, first thing is that const. First thing is that how to get the global state. Here we have done it through this map state to props and all these things, but how to do that? So const num of x equal to use selector. So we just have to use selector hook, and then state is state, and this nums of x again can be anything. State dot nums of x like this, and just you have to use it. No map state to props and no complicated pattern like this. So this is a use selector hook. The moment I do this, it is giving me the global state. See, if I change it, the global state is changing. Okay. Now, how to do this dispatch? How to do this dispatch? So this dispatch, again, there is a hook known as a use dispatch hook. Okay, so I'll use that. Const dispatch equal to use dispatch like this, and then and on click equal to dispatch and by. Again, the biag will be there and dispatch directly. I'm calling it. Here again, we have to do this map dispatch props and all those things. Those things we don't have to do. Directly dispatch and biag I'm going to do, and it will be done. Okay, so simple logic. So here I can directly do that. So again, the same thing will happen. This will call this action creator. Action creator will call this reducer, and reducer will go to the store. So this will happen. But the code is like 10 times more simpler. Okay, so that is there. Now the next question is what is your combined reducer? What is the combined reducer? So if you want to see the combined reducer, we need to see like a different. So combined reducers are generally used. Again, the answer is combined reducer generally used when we have more than one state to change. Then we use the combined reducer. And again here, okay, like this we have close one of these things, and we want to see this combined reducer. We can see it only when we have some other component like other state. So right now both of them are using the same ag state. So suppose we have a chicken also, the storekeeper is selling chicken also. So what we are going to do now, okay, so here I'll have a, okay, so here inside this Redux I'll have a new folder called CHICKN chicken. Okay, like this. Then I will have this like this. I types I'll have. Okay, so I'll have these three files again here. Okay, so first is CHICKN PYBS dot JS. Second is CHICKN reducer dot JS, and third is CHICKN actions.js. So these three things I'll have: types, types, reducer, and actions. So again, this types will be something like this, but instead of this, it will be by CHICJN. So we're seeing the concept of combined reducer, which is used whenever we have multiple states. Okay. So this chicken types is done. Then we'll have this action creator. import by this, and here it will be by like this. I'm exporting it. So this is also done. So now the reducer. Okay, so the reducer we need to do. So a reducer again, it will be quite similar. So in 10 types, and initial state is numbers of numbers of chicken is like this, 10, and it will not be a reducer. This will be CHICKN chicken reducer. This will be chicken reducer, and this is all okay, but this one will be by chicken state will be number of chicken is number of chicken minus one state. Okay, so all of these things will be like this. Okay, so this reducer is done. Now the main thing here. Okay, now in this store, if you go like store, okay, before even coming to the store, we will have one more thing. See, now I have not one reducer store, I'm using some one reducer. Okay, but now I have two reducers. So how to use that thing? So now I have to create one more file known as root reducer dot js. Root reducer dot js I have created, and then here I'll have a const root reducer equal to something known as a combined reducer, because we have two reducers. We don't have one reducer, we have two reducer. We have to use this thing. Okay, then we will have this egg, and egg reducer. This is how we combine from a chicken and chicken reducer. So these two things we're going to have, and then we will like export default root reducer, export default root reducer. I'm going to export it. So now I'm exporting it. Now what will happen in this store, I will not call this egg reducer but the root reducer. So this is how we'll do it. Now it's time to make a new component. Okay, so there is some error here. We'll come back to that. So a new component, it will be, again I will create a hook one only. So hook, you can container .js, and then RAFCE, like this, RAFCE, and then I'll go here, and it will be quite similar to this. So why not copy this thing? So so okay, no more hook. CKN by hook. CKN, right? One sec, one sec, one sec. I have to have this action getter open, so or else this import doesn't happen. So by this chicken will be called, and by hook chicken is there. Okay, so everything is okay. By chicken, okay. So now what I need to do here, action reducer. Okay, sec. Okay, it is app.js. I have to add this hook container also. Save it. So, but it is not showing anything. Anything is not showing anything. Like it seems to be broken. So it is actually broken because in this root reducer we have changed the state actually. So I will also show why the state is changed. So when you have this combined reducer thing, the state is like now this not the chicken like this. It is not like this. If you go to this reducer, it is not like this nums of chicken. It is like because of the store what happened here. Okay, because of the store, not this store, mainly because of this root reducer what happened, like this chicken has been added here. So see, if I go here and in this state I will change state dot chicken dot nums of chicken, started showing, and it is also started working like this because we know that dispatch goes there. So it is working. Now here also I have to change this as pgg dot. I'll save it. It is there. It's working fine. And in the other component, which is this a container, here I have to change the state here. pgg dot this, and it will be working fine. It will be working fine. So this is how we do it here. Okay. So combined reducer. So now one of the very important question is what is the middleware? What is the middleware in Redux? What is the middleware in Redux? Then we'll come to other question. So what is the middleware in Redux? So middleware is something which adds some functionality in Redux, and there are different kinds of middleware. Some are used to help in logging, some are used for asynchronous tasks, and middlewares are generally actions added here when this action created is going to the reducer. So see in this line you're taking seeing it, it actually catches it here and do the task. It catches it here and do the task. This middleware. So one of the very easy middleware. So we'll start with the easy middleware, which is known as the Redux logger. Okay. So Redux, hello, yeah, Redux logger. We're going to do with this Redux logger. Okay, so this Redux logger is there. So as you can see, like it's like a middleware which is used in Redux to get some nice logs. We're going to see how the nice logs are there. So it is like only NPI. The shape is not required. Okay, so command K and npmi Redux logger. Okay, so it is included. So now how to use it? How to use this middleware? So we use it in this store.js file. Store.js file will go, and here I'll just do a comma apply middleware and logger. And logger is also a Redux logger, and apply middleware is coming from Redux. I'll save it. Now what happens here? Like if I go here, right click inspect, go to this console. So the moment I do these things, I'm getting some nice console logs. This is because of this Redux logger. See, I'm getting the at what time this was fired. What was the previous state at this time? What was the type, and what is the next state? If I do this thing, what is the action is been gone? Okay, and this at 10, it is 9, 99 type us by chicken, and this is now after this it has become like this. So this is much better way to see this thing. This is one of the feature of a middleware, and we are using a simple middleware known as Redux logger. Okay, so now the next thing which we are going to see is that, okay, is a very important thing. Okay, and it is known as the Redux thunk. Okay, so the question is, what is Redux thunk and what it is used for? So Redux thunk is a middleware which is used to do the API calls through Redux. Doing the API call through Redux is not easy, and so but why we do API call through Redux? We can do it through React directly, because sometimes you need to store the API call data in the central location, which is this app.js, and so in a lot of production projects API calls are being done with Redux. Okay, so that is there, and we do the API call with the Redux for a reason, as I am telling, like that reason is like we want to store it in a central location. But when we do API call with Redux, we face a problem here. Like the action creator goes to Reducer very quickly, so we have to sort of hold it and get the data back. So for that reason, Redux thunk is actually used here. And to see the Redux thunk, actually, we are going to use a we are going to see it through a different thing, like because we have to do an API call, and we're gonna do this chicken and egg API call because we don't have an API. So we'll do the API call to the famous JSON placeholder. Okay. So here I will create a new component called user container.js and RAFCE. Come back to this container as always. So user container right now, save it. Now again, we are going to do the same things again and again. So here in this Redux part, I'm going to have a folder called user. And you see the API call through Redux is like much more complicated than doing it through a normal way. Okay, so but we do it. Okay, so user by yes.js, user types.js, and here like at types, let me copy it from here. Okay, so okay, so here we are going to see the complete way in which a API call has been done. So like API call generally when it is done, it takes 1 or 2 seconds to complete the API call, and API call can be success or a failure. So we're going to do all those things. Okay, so fetch users test, fetch users test, fetch users failure, failure. Okay. So this all are there. Now the next thing is the action. So this will be a bit different than the one which we have done till now. So here I will have a user actions.js, and then here I'll have a export const fetch user request equal to request, and return type is fetch users request, and we have imported it like this. Then we'll have a export const fetch users. It will get the users. Okay, it will get some payload like known as users, and then I'll have a return, and in this return I will have a type is fetch user success, comma, and okay, we'll have a new thing known as a payload here. For this thunk, we'll have a new thing called payload here. So users, and then we'll have a fetch users failure. In this failure, we'll get this error, and payload I'll get this error, and this fetch users, yeah, save it. Okay, fetch users failure, I'll save it. Now the next thing is uh, user reducer JS, useReducer.js I'm going to have, and let us take it like some, not action, but this reducer. This action, I need this again here instead of this. So initial state. So initial state here, I'll have a three initial state. One is like hello a and loading will be false. Okay. So I want to show the spinner also based upon the when the API call has been done, and then the users will be this empty array. So what will be my endpoint? So my endpoint is like this JSON placeholder, and there is a users endpoint. So this endpoint. So this users endpoint will be there. Okay. Then comma will be an empty string. Then here let me do it as a user reducer and and then action is okay. So there will be actually three actions here. First one will be fetch users request, which we have done, and then here dot state is okay, and we'll have this loading is equal to true. So the moment the fetch users request will be done, I'll make the loading as true instead of the false. Okay, and you can show a spinner based on this. Okay, so that is there, and then the other two things also we're going to have. But this will be fetch users success. So suppose if I get the API call result successfully, but here I will like use all these three things. Okay, so instead of, because here only loading I need to change, so other things I have used the spread operator. Here the loading will become false because the success is there, and the users will be this action dot payload, action.payload, and the error will be like again action.payload. Okay, so because we are sending the payload also, then I will go here do users, wait from here, users failure, the loading will again be false, but there will be nothing will come in this, so we'll have an empty array. But here there will be, in the error we'll have this action.payload. Okay, so like this we'll have selection, save it. Now this is done. Now one more thing in this root reducer, we'll have one more thing here, like user is user reducer, like this user is user reducer. I'll save it now. Okay, so now to do the API call, so we have not written the API call. We need two things. One is this Axios, and one is Redux thumb. So I'll install both of them, npm I Axios, and Redux, Redux, npm Axios and Redux thumb I've installed. So let us so Redux thumb is also a middleware. So again, a middleware is generally used here. So let us use the thunk here. So after this, we're already using a logger middleware, so we have to use this thunk middleware. Thunk is just imported from Redux thumb, and this is how we just add a middleware. So nothing else we need to do now. Okay, so in the user action, actually we need to create one more function which will actually use all these three functions to do the API call. So we are going to create that function, and that function will be export const users equal to like this, then return return dispatch. In Redux, everything is a dispatch. Okay, so in dispatch I need to do, and then this dispatch will actually call these three functions. Okay, so dispatch we'll call this first thing is the fetch users request. It will call. I'll, I'll take through the whole flow. Okay. Then the through axios dot get, we will call this API endpoint, this users API endpoint like this, and dot then, and then rest like this, and then const users equal to rest dot data, and then rest dot data, and then this patches users success and users. So whatever we get the data back, which will be this big array of object, we are sending it to this fetch users uh, success. Okay. Then we'll have the catch as error like this, and const err msg maybe equal to error dot any sshge message, error dot message, and dispatch fetch users failure and sg message I'm sending back. So this is how this action creator will call these three functions internally, and we'll see more through it like later on. But before, like now, the main thing is that this user container we have to do all these things, and this time actually we are going to use this mm, this way, because this way is not have not gone anywhere, just still there. Okay, so let us use this way. So thing is that this is a high order component, so it will be like this. Okay, so then call this thing. Okay, I'll call this thing, and then let me quickly make this thing. My state to props, and this will be but my state will be state dot user, because that is the thing which I have in this root reducer. Okay, state dot user, and state dot user. Then I can call it a bit different thing also, because that is quite possible. So I'll call it user data like this, and then dispatch is a very important thing. Dispatch will I will call this dispatch close dispatch. I will call this fetch users function. Okay, but again the name can be different, but I have called this thing, and then this dispatch this fetch users, and this fetch users is a function which I'm going to call. Okay, so this is the map state problem, and map dispatch props is there. Now since it is a props, I can destructure it here. So with this I will destructure it like fetch users from this user data, this two things can do, and then use effect like this, and in this use effect, so I don't have any button on something, this use effect in the component in mount, I'll call this fetch users. Okay, fetch users, this fetch users I'm calling. Okay, so this fetch users will be done. Okay, let us now go through the whole flow. This fetch users will call, and this dispatch fetch users will run. Okay, it will go here, and this fetch users is having a dispatch, and the first thing what it is doing, it's calling this fetch just request, it is calling it. And as I've told earlier, the action grid is connected to the reducer, so the moment it sees this thing, it will go here, and it will go to the first thing, and it will do whatever is the dot state, which is like these two things, it will keep like this, and the loading, it will become true, loading, it can make it true. Okay, so you can show a spinner there. Then what will happen, it will do this axios.get and this thing, and this thing generally API call takes generally 1 second. So after 1 second the data will come, and rest of data, this whole thing will come, and then I'm getting this array of object and passing it here. So now what is it is doing, it will go to the second case, loading will become false, and action.payload, so that whole thing, that array of object will be placed here in the payload, that error is will be done here. So generally the success will only be done. Error will only be do if we have some error issue here, like maybe some endpoint is wrong, then the error will run and it will do the error. Okay, so let us show this thing in the case of success first. How do we do? So in the case of success first, what we are going to do here is okay, so one more thing here is that this user data is actually contain these three things. So user data first, here user data dot loading I'll do, and ternary operator, and h2. Okay, yeah, so I can show a spinner here. If user data dot loading means user data dot loading is true, and that will be in this case, then I can show a spinner. Okay, or I'll show this thing. But I can have some error also there. Okay, so I have to check that also. So user data dot error, user data dot error is there. Then h2 and show the user data dot error, or I will show the, if the error is not a, then I'm going to show this thing. Okay, so let me have a h2 here, which will be user test. I have to have a fragment or something here because I want to show the list here. Okay, now this the main thing here is this user data dot users, which will have something. Okay, so the user data dot users, and I will just map through it. And for this thing, I'll do this user, and mm, maybe h4 and user dot name. I'll just show the username dot name because it will show me all the things. User name I'll do. I'll save it and see. Axios is not defined. Right? See, it came. It is showing. Okay, so this key thing, it is giving me error. Okay, why to have an error? Okay, okay, it's okay. H4 equal to user dot id. 100% there will be something as id. Yeah, id is there, which is unique. Save it. Okay, I don't want to see all these things here. It is okay. So see, if I like again, like I don't, it actually shows this loading for 1 second, and then it will show all of these things. Okay, so this is how like it will work. Like it will go to this action creator and do this dispatch, and on this failure will not be done. Failure will done if it is like this z. Now what will happen again, this loading will be shown, and then after that because it fails to go to the catch block, and catch block, then it will go here failure and user, and these things will be shown. Okay, so if I save it, see, it showed me this thing. Okay, so this is how this all Redux is there, and this is how the Redux work. Okay, thank you. Now the next question is, what is the use reducer hook? Yeah, so use reducer hook is the latest thing from React, and so with use reducer hook, if you use it alone, it is like a use state hook. It is used to manage the state, but use reducer hook have a superpower. If it is used with the use context hook, which we have learned how to use earlier, it can replace the Redux. So use reducer hook with the use context hook, you can give the interview this answer. Use reducer hook with use context hook can replace the Redux, can replace the Redux life segment. And let us now see again. So I have an other project in which we were using this context API, because we're going to see how to do it through this context API and all these things. So a context API we have done in the hooks interview part. So please go through it if you want to learn more about it, or please go to a detailed React tutorials if you want to learn. So for this, what I'm going to do, I'm going to right now I'm going to comment out these things, this context API, but I want to keep them because if we want to learn how the context API and the useReducer hook are used together to replace the Redux thing. Okay, so that is it. Now I'm going to first tell about the useReducer hook, then we're going to see how we can use it together. Okay, so here in the component, I'll make a new component called counter one.js, RAFCE, counter one, save it, go here for the counter one, this, and save it. Okay, so now this counter one is there. Here, what we are going to use this thing. Okay, so we'll go here and see this thing which we are going to see now. It will be quite similar to Redux. Okay, so the reducer thing is that that's what is known as use reducer. But as I told, alone it is not sufficient. Alone it is like a use state hook with use combining with the use context hook. It is like a Redux. Okay, so let us do that thing. So I will have a const initial state equal to 0, then const reducer. So reducer I'm making it. So reducer equal to state comma action, and here I'm having this pitch and action, and then case increment and return state. That's one. So one is case increment, one is case decrement, one is case decrement will be -1, and one will be reset. Reset will be initial state, and then default is return state like this. And oh, it is showing. So now this is there. Now how do we use this? Okay, so it is like a use state hook, this use reducer hook. So first I will come here and do a const count comma dispatch, but we have the functionality of dispatch. Okay, dispatch, the Redux functionality which we have learned now. Dispatch equal to use reducer. Use reducer will be imported. Use reducer is the hook, and then the reducer. It takes two parameters. One is this reducer, and one is this initial state. So these two things you will take, reducer and initial state. Okay, so now this div is there. So now what happens again? It is like a use state hook. See, the initial count is mapped to the reducer, and this dispatch is going here to like a use state hook. Then this div I will have, and then h1 I will have, and in that I can have a count, this count like this, and save it and see. The moment I do this count of 0 is being shown. So it is like a state. But the problem with this is a local state only. Okay, and you can think it as an alternative way to do it instead of the use state hook. Okay, alternative way to do it. Okay, so now, but actually it was created to use with use context hook only. So button I have, and this button I have a increment and on click equal to like this, and this patch, dispatch, and increment, and increment, increment, and button, and reset, and on click equal to this patch and reset. Okay. Dispatch and reset. So see how it is. On click, it will dispatch this increment. So it will increase it. Dispatch this decrement. It will now go to the reducer and it will use it. Reset will do the reset and it will make it 0. So I save it and see if this 3 button, increment will increase it. Okay. Decrement will decrease it and reset will do it. As I've told earlier, this is something which we can do with the use state only, like use state we can do and the same thing we can do. So what is the benefit of it? The benefit of it is not like to use it like this. Okay, so the benefit is to use it with the, okay, one second. Okay. Use it with the use context hook, and in that way only it can replace the Redux. So what was the benefit with use context hook? Let us first understand that. Use context hook, we were able to send some data like this, like a string data, to a component at any level. Any level, we are able to send it. So that is the power of the use context hook. And the power of this use reducer hook is that it can change the state through the dispatch functionality, like the Redux kind of way. But right now it is changing in a single component. And in the combination of two, like I'll show how we can have a like a global state and then can change it through this thing. Right now with the use context hook, we cannot have a global state, although we can pass data from one component to any other component. But now we are going to have a global state and we are going to change it from any component. So that is the benefit of it. And for that, what we are going to have, we are going to have again this grandparent thing. Okay, so grandparent we already have in this code. So we'll have three things. Okay, so again have some structure like that, the use context kind of structure. So grandparent one dot js. Okay. So then RAFCE, save it, and parent one dot js, RAFCE, and then child one dot js, RAFCE, save it. Now, what we are going to have in this, like this grandparent, will call this parent one. Parent one, it will call saving. This parent one will call this child one, and this child one is there. And finally, this one, instead of this counter one, I'm call this grandparent one. Grandparent one, remove this thing. So grandparent one, this child one is calling. So we have a structure like that we have seen in the context API. Now the thing is that as I've told, like we can pass data from anywhere. Not only data, we will have a central state which you can change from anywhere. And for this, I'm going to copy this thing first. Okay, so like this state will have, but there are some problem in this use reducer and some problem in this use context. We're going to use both of their positive thing and make them have this superpower. Okay, so first thing is that I'll have this initial state here. Right, then I will make a new context API. So context API we created like this. Okay, let me, I'm keeping the old code. So context API created like this. Let me call it a count context, like this count context I'm making. And then again I'll have this thing here, this app. I'll have this use reducer hook. All this use reducer. Yeah, use reducer is being called. Now, what I need to do, so here, this user context dot provider and all these things we have done. So like this, we will do count context dot provider. Count context dot provider. Remove the grandparent inside it. And like this value we have passed. But when we were using this context API, the problem was that we were able to pass only the string. But now what we can pass this count and dispatch there. Okay, count and dispatch you can pass. I'm passing this count and dispatch. Okay, now it's saving it. Now, what will happen? Like maybe I will go to this child, which is not directly linked to it, and we have seen this in the context API. We can use it anywhere. Okay, so because of the context API, we can use it at any level, and we'll use the use context hook for that. So const count on text thing is there. Const count context equal to use context and count context, which I have to import again, and then I can use this thing. So now what I am going to have here is this thing, count child one, and button and all these things are there. But it is not count directly. It is like okay, count context dot count. I'm passing count context dot count, and this is count context context dot dispatch. Count context dot dispatch. Count context dot dispatch. Okay, I'll save it. See now, first thing itself is there. Count from child one. I'm getting this global state. So this is zero is this global state. Okay, so I'm getting it from here. And one more thing, I can do it here like this. Here also I can show the count. Count is something which I can show here also. Like actually count from and count. Save. Count from the app and count from the child one. I'm doing it. And the main thing is that I can increase, decrease, reset from it. Means I can update the value of something. I can update the value of a data from any other place, which is like this is because this is a global state now. The global state I can update it from anywhere. So technically it is Redux. Global state is there and you can update it from anywhere. So it is advanced than the context API. Context API will only passing the string, but here I am using it like to update the global state, and I can use this global state from anywhere actually. Like maybe in the grandparent, I will like do one thing, and grandparent and go grandparent on context. Let us import both of these things, but let me only have this thing here. And I can access it from anywhere, like from app, grandparent, child, and these buttons also I can do it from anywhere. This button also we can do it from anywhere. So that is how we are able to do it. Okay, and with this, we come to the end of the not only this interview series but the complete interview series in which we have covered HTML, CSS, JavaScript, React class based, React hook based, and advanced React. So all of these things are covered. If you want to like ace in any interviews, please go through all the videos. The link is there in the playlist. It is all the videos before going to an interview. It's a very quick revision of everything, like all the major concepts, the quick revision of everything. And according to my experience, because I've already told, I've taken more than 1,000 interviews in my career, and still I'm taking. I teach for a lot of startups, for my own companies, and all those things I teach. And in that also we have to take a lot of mock interviews before the uh, person goes to for the real interview. So right now I take more mock interviews than the real interviews, but I've taken a lot of real interviews in my career also. So please go through them if you want to ace in any interview. And thank you.